Hello, my dear Franken friends, and welcome to Spookyou, your one-stop shop for all things ghastly and ghoulish. I'm your host, Barnabas Vixen. How horrible of you to join us. Curl up, invite your friends, and by all means, make sure those lights are out. That way it's harder to tell what may or may not be lurking around you. There's nothing like a good mystery, am I right? Tonight will feature a singular tale of devilish design curated by those wicked weavers of woe. And without further ado, allow me to pass the reins on over to our vivacious voiceover virtuoso Trey Falco for tonight's sinister story. Please keep all limbs and side covers at all times. We wouldn't want anything to go missing now, would we?
It started off subtle. Too subtle for most people to notice. At the time, I didn't pay too much attention to it. My nerves were jangled enough with the recent move, the parade of cardboard boxes up the stairs, the breathless swearing, and the warm ache in my lower back after everything had been hauled up from the car. The first day of college was looming over the horizon, and I was a cocktail of nausea and excitement. The apartment. It was a godsend. A 15-minute walk from the main campus, and surprisingly cheap for such luxury. The kitchen had this retro diner aesthetic to it, with an island in the middle surrounded by high-backed stools. The bedroom was tucked in the back with a corkboard by the front door, with little tacks in a small plastic box hanging off the bottom. It took me a full 24 hours to realize, hey, how about I get some friends over and some booze too while I'm at it? So I did. I went a little overboard. All I can remember is a ribbon of smeared colors and cacophonous laughter. Can you tell I'm majoring in English? The morning after was too warm, and I felt like I was wearing a hat 2 sizes too small. I needed some coffee and a long, guilty shower. I must have looked like a zombie struggling out of its grave, my hands groping around for my slippers. I always tuck them under the bed, but I must have forgotten in last night's stupor. Ragged socks it was so. Rubbing the crust out of my eyes, I shouldered the bedroom door open, caffeine on my mind. And then it happened. Ouch! Fuck! A tight needle of pain with my big toe at its epicenter. I lurched down, almost scalping myself against the carpet, right foot crossed over my left knee. One of the tacks dangled off my toe, a drop of blood already blossoming out. I swore again as I plucked it out. I must have knocked some down last night. I'm certainly no ballerina at the best of times, let alone when alcohol is thrown in the mix. Carefully, I do a sweep of the carpet for any more unwanted surprises, but it seemed it had just been the one. Maybe not a ballerina, but no rhino either. I throw the tack in the bin and hobble over to the kitchen for some first aid and food. So what? A small accident, nobody died, levitation and spinning heads were not involved. I know what you're thinking. Fuck you. It didn't end there. It's a subtle little bastard, but I know it's here, trying to drive me out.
Finally, we've been trying for eons to reach you about your plow horse's extended warranty. Please remain on the line while we transfer you to one of our account fairies. While I'm sure you'd love to get back to that living nightmare, I've got something far more exciting. One of our wretched sponsors. Tell me, listener, have you been having trouble down there? There's no reason to be embarrassed. It happens to everyone at times. It even happened to my grandfather. That's where Brainy Bob's Grave Services comes into play. When you just can't possibly get those old bones up like you used to and roll around in your grave, Brainy Bob's delicate caretakers are here to assist you. On call 24/7 whenever you're feeling in the mood. I guarantee you'll be left feeling like your younger self. Please seek an apothecary. If symptoms last longer than 4 eons, it could be considered a mystical emergency. Brady Bob's Grave Services, shaking the dust off dysfunctional bones since 1203. I suppose now it's time to return you to your story, though you really should look into that plow horse warranty.
The second incident, though not nearly as painful, but much more exhausting. 2 weeks into the first semester, a little after 8, with me huddled over my laptop and lecture notes. I have this thing about pens and pencils. They have to be straight on the table, like little wooden soldiers, and if there's multiple, they always have to be in groups of 2. It looks tidy, something to distract me from the fact that I'm already struggling to catch up. I was busy trying not to plagiarize a Wikipedia article when one of my pens rolled off the table. I stooped down to pick it up, only to realize it had ended up a few feet away. Ballooning my cheeks in a dramatic sigh, I roll my chair over and pick it up, back with the rest of its squadron. Another few minutes go by and I feel my eyes drifting away from the laptop and over to the pens. This time they fanned out like fingertips. I nudge them back into place, and then I get back to changing words around. Another minute passes. I sneeze, and the same goddamn pen jitters off the table. I audibly exclaim my frustration this time. The same ritual of rolling my chair over to where it landed in the exact same place. Back to the laptop, and are you fucking kidding me? It's shutting down. I frantically twitch the mouse around, stab a few keys. Well, there goes an hour of work. No biggie. I want to laugh. I want to cry. But instead, I just log back in, getting the password wrong twice. How? I don't know. It takes me another month to realize that these weren't just coincidences. I've had butter knives move a couple of inches while I'm making toast. I know I had put it down by the bananas in the fruit bowl, but now it's by the bread bin. Shoes, they're a common recurring nightmare. There's a rack in the utility room where I put my trainers, but of course not. No, they're under the bed. Phone's charging? Nope, forgot to flick the switch, dummy. What page was I reading in the textbook? I thought I had it bookmarked. Oh, my bad. It must be between page 10 and page fuck you. I'd never caught the subtle bastard actually move anything, but then I had a brainwave. A quick trip to the hardware store in town and coming home, back with a boot full of tins of cherry red paint, as the tab said. Now, I'm no artist, but I've got a steady hand and a lot of spare time now that the lecturers stopped asking me questions about my absence. The carpet had to go. I didn't do a pretty job of scraping it off the floorboards, but hey, I guess if anyone wants it, they can check the skip outside. I start off big, outlining the bed and the bath and the sofa, chairs and stools next, making sure I leave no gaps between the feet and the paint. The fruit bowl, the toaster, my phone. My apartment is slowly becoming a series of cherry red loops and circles and outlines like something straight out of CSI. My pens have their allotted pen-shaped outlines on the table. Everything has its place. Sweaty, smelly, and covered in red splotches, I must have made quite the sight. I thought I had won. And then I notice the pens. Those fucking pens. And their cherry slots, too. On the floor.
Welcome back, my darling deviants. Well, tell me, did you enjoy that twisted tale? Of course you did. I knew you had that air about you, that hunger for the horrific and the macabre. So, did we spook you? If not, then file a complaint with our complaint department detailing all accounts of non-spookiness you found in this video, and we'll get back to you in 2 to 3 millennia. Give or take a business eon or two. However, if you've enjoyed what you've just heard this evening, then make sure you leave a like on this video and annihilate that subscribe button. Such a small act of obedience is exactly what we need to put the food on the table around here. There's only so many days we can have refried kidney and toe jam hash before I'm absolutely sick of it. Spoiler alert, that ship sailed long ago. Now, I must bid you adieu. I've many things to take care of, and this outro is eating into my day off. Run along now. Have no fear, we'll be here every Tuesday and Thursday to bring you another terrible tale. Go forth, my ghastly gang, and stay spooky.